Cancer is not weak, Cancer is not too emotional. Cancer is not just someone who cries easily, gets attached too fast, or hides inside their shell whenever life becomes difficult. That is the surface story, but the emotional truth about Cancer is much deeper. And most people completely miss it, because behind Cancer's soft heart, there is a powerful inner world. Behind their silence, there are feelings they never fully explain. Behind their loyalty, there is fear. Behind their care, there is pain. And behind their mood changes, there is usually a truth they are trying to protect. If you have a Cancer in your life, or if you are a Cancer yourself, this video may explain something you have felt for years but never knew how to say, because Cancer does not just feel emotions, Cancer remembers them, and that is where the real story begins. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and just like the moon changes phases, Cancer's emotional world is constantly moving. One moment, they may seem warm, loving, and open. The next moment, they may become quiet, distant, or difficult to read. To some people, this looks confusing. To others, it looks dramatic, but Cancer's emotions are not random. They are responses to energy, tone, memories, safety, and emotional signals that most people do not even notice. Cancer can walk into a room and feel when something is off. They can hear a slight change in someone's voice and immediately sense distance. They can remember a small moment from months ago because it made them feel unwanted, ignored, or unsafe, and that is the first emotional truth most people miss. Cancer does not react only to what happened, Cancer reacts to what it meant emotionally. They are not just hearing your words. They are feeling the space between them, and sometimes, that space tells them more than the words ever could. Cancer is deeply connected to the idea of home, but home does not always mean a physical place. For Cancer, home is a feeling, it is safety. It is trust. It is being understood without having to explain every little thing. It is being able to lower their guard and still feel loved. This is why Cancer can become so attached to people, memories, places, songs, objects, and even moments from the past. They do not just collect memories, they build emotional homes inside them. A simple message, an old photo, a familiar smell, a childhood place, or a conversation from years ago can still live inside Cancer's heart as if it happened yesterday. But here is the painful part: when Cancer loses someone they considered home. They do not just lose a person, they lose a part of their emotional world. That is why Cancer may struggle to move on quickly. That is why they may revisit the past. That is why they may look calm on the outside while still carrying something heavy inside, because when Cancer loves, they do not rent emotional space, they build, and when something breaks, they feel every wall come down. Cancer is symbolized by the crab, and this symbol is more meaningful than most people realize. A crab has a hard shell on the outside, but inside, it is soft and vulnerable. This is exactly how Cancer often moves through life. They may appear guarded, defensive, shy, moody, or private. But that shell did not appear for no reason. Cancer builds emotional protection because they have usually learned, at some point, that not everyone can be trusted with their heart. Maybe they loved too deeply and were taken for granted. Maybe they opened up and someone used their vulnerability against them. Maybe they cared for people who did not care back with the same depth. Maybe they were told they were too sensitive when all they wanted was to be understood. So Cancer learns to protect. They may stop explaining themselves. They may withdraw before they get hurt. They may test people quietly to see who stays. They may become cold, not because they have no feelings, but because they have too many. And this is where many people misunderstand Cancer. When Cancer pulls away, it does not always mean they stopped caring. Sometimes it means they cared so much that they had to protect what was left of them. People often talk about Cancer's sensitivity, but they do not talk enough about Cancer's strength, because emotional strength is not the absence of feeling, it is the ability to feel deeply and still keep going. Cancer carries emotions that would overwhelm many people. They remember pain. They notice rejection. They absorb the moods of others. They worry about people they love. They carry unspoken fears and private hopes, and yet, they still show up, they still care, they still protect, they still love. Cancer's strength is quiet, but it is real. They may not always fight loudly. They may not always announce their battles. But inside, Cancer survives emotional storms that nobody sees. They can be the person everyone leans on while secretly needing someone to lean on too. They can comfort others while hiding their own sadness. They can forgive people who never fully understood how much damage they caused, and that is not weakness, that is emotional endurance. Cancer's power is not in being untouched by pain. Cancer's power is in still having a heart after everything tried to harden it. When Cancer loves, they love with memory, loyalty, protection, and emotional depth. They notice your favorite things. They remember what hurts you. They care about your comfort. They want to know if you got home safely. They may express love through small acts instead of big speeches. Cancer's love often feels like shelter, but because they love so deeply, they also fear losing deeply. This is why Cancer can sometimes become cautious, clingy, suspicious, or emotionally reactive in relationships. They are not trying to control love, they are trying to feel safe inside it. Cancer needs reassurance, but not fake reassurance. They need emotional consistency. They need someone whose words and actions match. They need someone who does not disappear whenever things become serious, because Cancer can feel emotional distance before it is spoken. They can sense when love changes, and when they sense that shift, their heart starts preparing for pain before anything has even happened. But if Cancer feels truly safe, they become one of the most loyal, nurturing, and emotionally devoted partners in the Zodiac. They do not love halfway. They love in a way that says, "Your heart matters to me." And for the right person, that kind of love can feel unforgettable. Cancer often hides pain behind silence. They may not always tell you what hurt them. They may say, "It's fine," even when it is not. They may act normal while replaying the situation over and over in their mind, but inside, Cancer is asking questions. Why did that feel different? Did I care more than they did? Was I too much? Should I have stayed quiet? Did they mean to hurt me, or did they simply not notice? This is one of Cancer's deepest struggles. They often feel things intensely, but they may fear being judged if they express those feelings openly. So they swallow the pain, they retreat, they become quiet. And sometimes, people mistake that silence for peace, but Cancer's silence is not always peace. Sometimes it is emotional self-defense, sometimes it is disappointment, sometimes it is the moment they realize they cannot keep explaining their heart to someone who refuses to understand it, and once Cancer emotionally detaches, it can be very hard to bring them back, because Cancer may forgive with their words, but their heart keeps records. Cancer has a complicated relationship with the past. They may hold on to old memories, old relationships, old conversations, old regrets, and old versions of themselves, not because they want to suffer, but because the past feels emotionally alive to them. Cancer does not just remember what happened. They remember how it felt. They remember who they were before something changed. They remember what they hoped would happen. They remember the version of someone they loved before that person hurt them. This can make Cancer deeply nostalgic, but it can also keep them trapped, because sometimes Cancer keeps returning to emotional places that no longer exist. They may miss people who were not good for them. They may hold on to love that once felt safe but later became painful. They may replay moments, searching for the exact point where everything changed. But the emotional truth Cancer must learn is this: not every place that felt like home is meant to be lived in forever. Some memories are meant to teach you, some people are meant to awaken you, some endings are meant to protect you, and sometimes, Cancer's healing begins when they stop trying to rebuild a home in the same place that broke them. Cancer's intuition is one of their greatest gifts. They often know things before they can prove them. They feel when someone is lying. They sense when someone is pulling away. They know when a person's energy has changed, even if nothing obvious has happened. This is because Cancer is emotionally intelligent in a very quiet way. They notice patterns, they remember details, they read energy, they understand feelings that people try to hide. But this gift can become painful when Cancer starts doubting themselves. They may sense something is wrong, but then convince themselves they are overthinking. They may feel someone's distance, but then blame themselves for being sensitive. They may know the truth emotionally before the truth appears logically, and that can be exhausting, because Cancer often lives between feeling something and waiting for proof. But many times, their first feeling was right. Cancer's intuition is not always fear, sometimes it is wisdom speaking through emotion. The lesson for Cancer is learning the difference between emotional wounds and true inner knowing, because not every fear is intuition. But not every feeling should be ignored either. Cancer is a natural giver. They give time. They give attention. They give emotional support. They give loyalty. They give second chances. They give pieces of themselves to people they love, but sometimes Cancer gives too much. They may care for people who do not care for them equally. They may stay in situations where their emotional needs are ignored. They may become the listener, the healer, the safe place, while secretly feeling empty themselves. This happens because Cancer often connects love with care. They may believe that if they love harder, people will stay. If they understand more, people will change. If they give more, people will finally value them. But this is the truth Cancer needs to hear. You do not have to earn love by exhausting yourself. You do not have to prove your worth by saving everyone. You do not have to become someone's emotional home if they keep leaving you outside in the cold. Cancer's love is precious, but it must have boundaries, because without boundaries, Cancer's greatest gift can become their deepest wound. Every zodiac sign has a shadow side, and Cancer is no exception. When Cancer is hurt, insecure, or emotionally overwhelmed, they may become withdrawn, passive-aggressive, defensive, or overly attached to the past. They may expect others to understand what they feel without saying it clearly. They may hold on to resentment while pretending everything is okay. They may protect themselves so strongly that they push away people who genuinely care. This shadow side usually comes from fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being misunderstood, fear of loving someone more than they are loved in return. But growth for Cancer begins when they stop expecting people to read every emotion and start expressing their needs directly. It begins when they learn that vulnerability does not mean giving someone unlimited access to hurt them. It begins when they understand that boundaries and love can exist together. Cancer does not need to become less emotional. Cancer needs to become more emotionally honest, not just with others, but with themselves. The emotional truth Cancer has been missing is this: your sensitivity is not the problem. The problem is giving your sensitivity to people who do not respect it. Your heart is not too deep. You have just allowed shallow people to make you feel difficult to love. Your emotions are not a weakness. They are signals. They tell you where you feel safe, where you feel drained, where you are loved, where you are being used, and where you need to finally choose yourself. Cancer's journey is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming clear. Clear about who deserves your love. Clear about what your heart needs. Clear about which memories are worth carrying and which ones are only keeping you stuck. Clear about the difference between caring for someone and losing yourself inside them. Because Cancer was never meant to stop feeling. Cancer was meant to feel with wisdom. So if you are a Cancer, remember this: you are not weak because you feel deeply. You are not broken because you remember. You are not too much because your heart needs safety. You are someone who loves with depth in a world that often teaches people to stay shallow. But your heart deserves protection. Your energy deserves peace. Your love deserves reciprocity. And your emotional world deserves people who do not make you feel ashamed for having one. The truth is, Cancer's greatest power has always been their heart, but the next chapter of Cancer's life begins when they stop giving that heart to everyone and start saving it for the people who truly know how to hold it. If this message connected with you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I protect my peace. And if you know a Cancer who needs to hear this, share this video with them, because sometimes, the right words arrive at exactly the right moment.